It's a huge week for Carnival Cruise Line as 2 brand new ships are expected to launch in the next 7 days. Plus, a Guinness World Record set by a cruise ship. We're going to tell you what Virgin Voyages has planned here to celebrate their new ship along with Halloween. And speaking of Halloween, well, I had a spooky time on my group cruise, and I'm going to show you some looks behind the scenes. Let's roll the intro. Hey, welcome to the Midships channel. I'm your Captain Corey, and thank you so much for stopping by the channel today. Welcome back here to Orlando, Florida, finally back home in the Midships home studio. You can see, got some new bling on the wall. Not sure if I'm gonna love it or hate it. We'll see. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. I am back from my group cruise, and guess what? Today is Halloween, so if you're watching today, happy Halloween to you. We had a great time on the group cruise. Later on in the episode, I'll show you some behind the scenes peeks at what went down on board the Carnival Sunshine last week with about 20 other subscribers here to the channel. Now, make sure you're subscribed because there's another opportunity to come on my next group cruise getting announced this week, so you don't want to miss out on that. Now, we got tons of cruise news to get into. We're going to start with the big news for Carnival Cruise Line. They've got 22 ships in the fleet, but that number is expected to grow by 2 in the next 7 days, as the Carnival Celebration and the Carnival Luminosa are both expected to go into operations within the next 7 days. Now, the Celebration, she'll be starting a 14-night transatlantic cruise from Southampton, England, all the way down to beautiful Miami, Florida. Now, on board that cruise, there's going to be some other YouTubers. Unfortunately, I was not able to get booked on because of a conflict with my upcoming cruise on Celebrity Beyond, but boy, I was sitting there with airline tickets and everything in the credit card numbers typed in. I really wanted to get on this ship, but sadly, the Celebration will have to wait for another Miami night. I'm sure we'll make it on there sometime. Anyways, the Celebration, if you want some inside behind the scenes look, I encourage you to follow the channel, JJ Cruise. I'll put a link in the description below. Some pretty cool guys, Jared and Jordan. They will be on the inaugural sailing, and that'll be your probably best look at what's going on Carnival's new ship, with all kinds of Miami themes going on that beautiful new ship. But the Celebration is not the only shiny new object in Carnival's fleet this week, because a ship that you will probably want to cruise on in Alaska next year, named the Carnival Luminosa, has finished her refit and is now in Australia, set to begin her cruise season on Sunday. Now, the Luminosa, as you may or may not know, was originally the Costa Luminosa, but as part of Carnival's new Costa by Carnival, a more Italian-themed experience on board their ships, they have converted this with a lot of the traditional Carnival venues that you know and love on board, while supposedly retaining a lot of the Italian flair. Now, whether or not the elevated service level that you generally see on a Costa cruise versus a Carnival cruise remains intact, well, we'll find that out here pretty quickly, because the Aussies are set to board in like a week's time here, less than a week now. So pretty cool news coming out of Carnival Cruise Line. The eagle-eyed amongst you will notice I just clicked this light on, and you know what else you could click on? My Amazon affiliate link in the description below this video. It'll take you to the Amazon store of your dreams for cruising. Everything in there I have personally tested on at least 20 cruises at this point. I know it, I love it, I think it's great for you too. The best part is you'll be supporting this channel and my work while getting something back for yourself and not spending an extra penny doing it. Link below. While I was out to sea on my group cruise, 2 cruise lines here in the US, and they sail in other places of course, have come out and dropped more COVID requirements to cruise, specifically testing and vaccination requirements completely. Those 2 lines, Holland America and Virgin Voyages. And why don't we just roll on with talking about Virgin Voyages? They are in the news today as well because they're trying to set a Guinness World Record with the inaugural sailing of their newest ship, the Valiant Lady, out of Miami. Some would say it's a mermaiden voyage, as the line is attempting to have the largest amount of mermaids ever photographed at their resort on Bimini. Hey, whatever floats your boat, Richard Branson. The line hopes to attempt the fishy-smelling record at their private beach club at Bimini. Bimini's a cool place. Have you ever been there? It's sort of newer, kind of an up-and-coming Caribbean cruise destination. Yeah, it's kind of a lesser developed area, but there is a casino you can go to. Like I said, the aforementioned beach club at Bimini. Even if you're not on one of the Virgin Voyages ships, you can get a day pass there. They do have some cool free shuttles and some really nice beaches. Can't wait to see what the future holds up in Bimini. And I'm going to be watching social media for this mermaid record photo. I assume they have an adjudicator on board from Guinness, looking to make sure that this all went down correctly. Maybe I should go for a Guinness World Record of some type on my next group cruise. Well, there's controversy brewing for those booked on board Carnival Mardi Gras, as the line has quietly dropped the port of San Juan, Puerto Rico from 21 itineraries from December of this year through April of 2024. Now, there's no official word coming out of Carnival, but it sounds like, according to local port officials in San Juan, this is a cost-cutting measure because Carnival doesn't want to pay the fuel costs to get down to San Juan when they could just casually cruise down to Nassau, Bahamas instead. Now, the Port of Nassau is going through a major renovation, and next year when that reopens, there's going to be a lot of smiling faces for people who have even been to Nassau a dozen times before, because there'll be new things for you to do and explore at this new cruise port. Now, that said, San Juan, it's a pretty unique cruise destination, lots of history, lots of local flavors and vibes, and I can understand why cruisers booked on these cruises would be pretty upset. San Juan is one of those destinations that you kind of book the cruise for. Now, I'm not surprised that Carnival's looking to cut costs with the price of LNG. It's tripled since Carnival probably started talking about converting to LNG. I don't know, how long does it take to plan out a new ship? 5, 7 years? They probably started talking about this back in 2015 or 16 when LNG was only a couple bucks, and now it's more than tripled in price for the fuel that the Mardi Gras and now the Celebration will use. It's a little bit more difficult to get that type of fuel than a more traditional marine grade fuel. So that's what's going on. Now, the one thing that's kind of weird to me is that these cruise lines reserve the right to add a fuel surcharge on if the price has gone up. And I was fuel surcharged this year by Margaritaville at sea. Yeah, we literally just went over to Grand Bahama. Well, Freeport, for those of you in the know. They barely even move. You could probably get out and like swim the ship along. Yet for some reason it was like $24 extra of fuel. Yeah, Margaritaville, what the heck? You don't like solo cruisers, you charge for fuel. I don't know what's going on with that cruise line, but I'll tell you about my experience there one of these days. But that's the tea on Carnival. Surprise! You're not going to San Juan if you're booked on the Mardi Gras. And I'm sorry about that because San Juan is a beautiful destination. I'll be there, I think, next month. Yeah, we'll show you some things to do. Well, if you made it this far into today's video, hope you're having a wonderful Halloween. Be sure you subscribe to the channel with the bell notification turned on and the thumbs up button smashed. Oh yeah, it's my group cruise bracelet. You'll get one if you go on a group cruise with me sometime. As always, thanks so much for stopping by the channel today, and until next time, we'll see ya on the Midships. Ooh, it was spooky season on the group cruise. We did a costume contest, and there were some amazing costumes from participants here in the group cruise. All kinds of funny, fun, and serious costumes were afoot. Now, I entered the costume contest, but I lost out to an inflatable T-Rex who got the crowd super excited. Check this guy out, doing it big there on the Carnival Sunshine. Now, if you've never cruised during the holidays, there's always something fun and something extra to do. On this cruise, the costume party was the hit, but we also did a fun beach day at Half Moon Key, or Half Moon Cay, Carnival's private island down in the Bahamas. Had a wonderful time. We did a flotilla. Everybody brought their own floats. We hung out in some of the most beautiful water you've ever seen. It was super warm, super sunny. Had to tender on over, had lunch by the beach. all in all, an amazing time. Like I said, please make sure you're subscribed to this channel because this week, I've got news for you on how you can cruise with me on a ship you have never been on before. I promise. Thanks so much for coming by. Have a good Halloween. Don't eat too much candy. We'll see you tomorrow.